Get inside and lock your doors. Close your windows. There's something in the fog.
Hello and welcome to the final podcast, the last podcast you'll ever listen to.
That's right. Booze, brews, and horror movie reviews. Your final bros have survived.
Yes, we are here with Brian Hotboy LaGrasta,
Jamie Lee Curtis, baddie or nah. And we have Shane, inevitably, there was Sod Smith.
You know what? I think I would do Jamie Lee Curtis.
And we have Mike, the Cannibal Gypsy.
I definitely would. I also used to have a mug I really liked, and then it broke.
We're here with the Matt.
Jamie Lee Curtis is one of the greatest screen queens of all time.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. Would you bang?
Yes. Correct.
Okay, good call.
She's like that one, like if you look at Jamie Lee Curtis, I'm sure she has a mug that she's broken before she did her first podcast.
Yes, yes.
But in all seriousness, like she has that look of like, maybe you try it one time.
Yeah. She also, we were talking about this, she can either be 20 or 35 in this movie. I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
She looks young, but she looks like a very old young person.
Right.
True.
Tom Atkins is also about 22 years older than her in this movie.
And he was like tongue deep in that.
But like no joke, it's very apparent, but also that's his like MO. Like when he was in Halloween 3, that was the same situation.
That's right.
Like literally the same situation.
You're right.
So he likes him young?
I wouldn't say Tom Atkins
I think
does.
it's a coincidental casting. Or
Yeah.
at least I hope so.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Everyone in Hollywood's like, Tom Atkins likes him young. We got to cast him.
Maybe he's just like Leo before Leo.
Oh,
Right.
You're right. You're right.
How does it feel to have that in common with Tom?
It's just the interest in the
Oh,
young.
you're sick.
Speaking of sick, this opening scene here, what are they at a camp?
Yeah, it's you've never been to camp where your camp counselor is an old salt dog?
He's just telling
no.
stories about the fog because we
Yeah.
are reviewing
The Fog.
The Fog.
John Carpenter's
The Fog.
1980 film, The Fog.
The camps I went to, like the counselors were barely older than I was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were young.
Yeah, they were
all young.
They were like literally, if we were in 4th grade, our camp counselors were probably in 8th.
Yeah, they're like they're just like banging in the bathroom and stuff.
What is this, Friday the 13th? This is literally the plot line of Friday the 13th. But we also should mention, we are in the midst of Retro Reel.
We are in the midst of Retro Reel. We actually have just 2 more weeks left, and it's been a pretty sweet Retro Reel month. We always love this month. It's fun.
This cast is very similar to another movie we have done in Retro Reel.
Maniac Cop? No, that's wrong.
Well, no, Creepshow. Adrienne Barbeau,
Yeah, I forget that she's in there. She plays that bitchy lady.
Hal Holbrook,
That's right. Also in Creepshow. In the same skit.
Tom Atkins.
Great.
He's the dad who yells at his kid in the beginning.
In the beginning.
So 3
Wow.
people in this movie are in Creepshow.
That was last week.
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know also something about this movie that's interesting? If you want to look at your trivia.
I love
Jamie Lee
trivia.
Curtis couldn't find work after Halloween. And John Carpenter's like, yeah, I'll throw you one.
Did she do prom night before?
I think it was after this.
After this,
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's like either like right after this, but literally she couldn't find a job.
That's crazy because she actually is very good in Halloween.
Yeah, imagine
Yeah,
being
it's
like
great.
in the best horror movie ever,
Yeah.
and then just like not being able to find a job.
That's nasty.
That's all.
work.
It was 2 years. So
Good on John though, throwing her a bone.
Also, I knew this, but I didn't know to the full extent because I knew John Carpenter had composed the theme song to Halloween. He composes the theme songs to most of his movies. He
Yeah.
did the entire soundtrack to this,
Yeah.
and he
The
did the soundtrack to a lot of
at
his.
certain points in this movie
It's
is
lit.
fucking tight.
It's
Yeah.
totally fire.
It's fucking really tight.
I'm just gonna be honest. Like he does a great job.
Oh,
He-
100%.
His music is top notch.
Yeah, I think so. This movie, right? I think we talked about it a little bit off air, but it's not as good as I remember it being. But I do still like it.
Oh, me too.
And I think what Carpenter does really well is the atmosphere he kind of creates. Like he does a lot of these still shots of just like the town, but with the fog rolling in, and I think it sets a really good eerie atmosphere.
But like when you see the fog like over like the ocean,
Yes,
it looks goofy.
it does.
Sometimes it could look goofy. It's also glowing.
Yes. I think when he uses the actual like fog machines though, and it like sweeps over the cars or like a building, I think it looks really cool.
He's got a couple of really cool ones. Like
Yeah.
there is one where it's just like it's like going right into the camera. I think that looks cool. And there's some that, like Mike said, like that do go over the mountain. And you're just like,
yeah, I don't know,
It's
but
goofy
like
shit.
like when the fog people go onto the boat and it's just the man's silhouette in the fog.
you're calling them the fog people.
Yes,
I was calling them the fog boys.
the fog. Okay, I can go with the fog boys. I like the fog boys. I think those shots are really well done. I think the lighting is fantastic with the contrast of their dark silhouette to like the actual brightness almost of the fog. I think it's fantastic actually.
I like this because it's like this film is basically they're creating a ghost story,
Yes.
essentially, right?
Yes.
Like it's a campfire tale. It's a myth of the creation of the town, but it's also like a ghost story that like it does have this mystery element of like all these characters like bringing their own pieces of the ghost story, and like it does kind of, in a way, come together. And then I'm like, okay, this is all good and all. What the fuck does Jamie Lee Curtis have to do with anything? And why is she cast in the film?
Okay, so that's the thing. I thought it was so funny that she's essentially just a hitchhiker with no attachment to this town, but is dragged to every crime scene.
Yes.
In this movie.
Like, they were trying to create this weird theme of her, like, coming in conjunction with the fog.
Like,
rolling
she
into
brings the
town.
bad luck, she says. and-
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. I was, like, trying to, like, surmise if there's, like, some deeper meaning to her being in the movie, but it just kind of, like, oddly coincides with it.
Yeah, I think it's more so just a coincidence rather than a meaning, unless I'm missing it. But
I mean, I do think it's interesting. The one thing I'll point out is, like, in the story, you find out, like, she was a part of some rich-ass family in California.
And she gave all that up.
She gave all that up. Meanwhile, like, you have these, at the same time, you have these guys that were going there and, like, lost their gold.
Yes.
And they got robbed of their gold. So it's just, like, a weird
true.
fortune kind of circumstance.
Okay.
But there's really no great purpose for her character, like, at all. And I'm like, I feel like there's some really big writing flaws with this.
Yeah.
Thinking about, she like really doesn't add much to the
No,
movie.
she doesn't.
It's cool seeing her, but
No, and she's not bad in the movie, but I do agree. When you think of the characters in this movie, she's the least important.
By a long shot.
Like
characters that serve purpose, the priest, Adrienne Barbeau, and Tom Atkins.
Yes. And yeah, that's really it.
Yeah, I mean, the other characters, they add some
But, like,
value.
those are the three focal points because they all actually progress the story.
Yeah.
I also love the trope. Maybe this movie started it, of the fucking radio host, like live broadcasting, like a fucking
A disaster. And I was thinking about that too.
to like a small town.
Yes. Because, like, that's like a kind of like a trope now where the radio host like hears about something and they update you on the movie as the movie goes on. I can't really think of a movie that did that before this. Maybe Night of the Living Dead, where you always have the guy on the news broadcast giving.
True.
But like her radio voice, I actually really like when she goes, like it's awesome. Like, I think it really adds to the whole vibe and flow of this movie.
There's a remake or
Yes, there is a IMDb almost bottom 100 remake of this movie.
I've seen it. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It is really bad.
Yeah, it's with the guy from Smallville who plays Clark Kent.
Tom Welling.
Yes, and it's got like a 4.2, I think, on IMDb.
I think even less, honestly. I think it's like 3.7.
I've never seen it.
Bro, you watch The Mist? You ever seen that?
You know, I haven't, but I hear good things. That's the one with Thomas Jane.
I fucking love that movie.
Jane?
I 100% think we should review this in the year 2026.
Yeah, I hear. I hear good things. Is that a 3.7?
3.7. That was
Fog Boys?
at least a mix of everything. But yeah, 3.7.
So it is that, like, you would say it's like a 3.7 bad.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
Wow.
They change some things about the story.
Interesting. See, I like the story. I like the idea.
I like the story as well.
That it was people who had their gold robbed from them, so some like people can take over like a town. Like,
kind of was hoping they would rename it to like the people under the fog, but they decided to go with just the fog.
Who plays Jamie Lee in the remake? Some young baddie or?
I don't.
Did
There,
they
there,
X out
there-
that?
there
Do the
is.
cast up?
I don't even know if there
Yeah,
is a
right
Jamie
now.
Lee Curtis hitchhiker. I think it's a completely different
True,
story.
you can't like when that movie came out. You shouldn't really be casting hitchhikers banging dudes that are 20 years older than them. It sets a bad precedent in the early 2000s.
Girl
the-
named Maggie Grace.
she's the girl from Lost. Yeah.
Maggie Grace.
Who does she play?
Wait, is that
Elizabeth.
Oh no,
Williams.
that is her. That is her. Never mind. Yeah, that's Mag. She's from Lost. Who's the girl that plays Adrienne Barbeau?
What's Adrienne Barbeau's-
Stevie Wayne.
Selma Blair.
Oh, big
Okay.
fan.
But I don't remember it
fan.
being the same setting.
It's apparent. Well, based on one of the reviews I just read briefly, it said something about it being a sequel.
It's. Can you read the synopsis?
Sure.
Or like at least like, where does it take place? It's in Oregon, right?
in
It's not in
Oregon.
California.
A thick mist full of vengeful spirits haunts a prosperous island town off the coast of Oregon, as its inhabitants try to learn the town's dark secrets in order to stop it.
It's just
Where
bad.
does this take place? Arcadia Bay.
God. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it now though. If it's
I
free, let me. Matt, actually check where the Fog the remake is playing because
It's
Prime
it's
for
rent
pay?
or buy on Prime.
that's it.
Yeah.
Fuck, I ain't renting that.
No, I wouldn't.
If it was free though, I was gonna make Mike watch it with me tonight. But since it's rent or buy, I'll wait.
John Carpenter did write that one as well,
No, I don't think he wrote it.
or at least he's listed on.
So with remakes, a lot of times they give a guest writer because the script essentially comes from the original movie.
Okay.
You'll notice that a lot with remakes.
Okay, so then the director is Rupert Wainwright.
Yes, because they'll put like if you actually see the credits, a lot of times they'll put an originally like story by John Carpenter because he wrote the original.
Rupert
That's how they do
Wainwright.
it. That name sounds super familiar, by
Is
the
that
way.
the
But
guy
I'm
who-
looking it up because I'm
This
curious.
this is definitely the answer is no. But I think that's the same name of the guy that sings the song Hallelujah.
I wouldn't know.
I
And
think
Shrek.
I think he's right though.
Really?
I think so.
I thought Jeff Buckley sang that.
That's the original. Well, no, that's not even the original.
yeah,
That's,
Jeff Buckley did the
that's-
version that was in Watchmen.
Yeah, that's he probably has like the most popular version.
yeah.
But I think he was like the one of the first remakes, and then it was remade by Rupert Wainwright for Shrek, or at least prior to Shrek.
This director makes a lot of music videos, so it's probably.
Is one of those Hallelujah?
From Shrek.
I do not see that.
Maybe he's the brother of Adam, the great Adam Wainwright.
Is great Cardinal pitcher.
Great Adam Wainwright.
Fantastic pitcher.
I loved him. I love me some Adam Wainwright. While you look that up, I will share that we are the final podcast. The podcast is going to review a horror movie scene by scene. As we do that, we are going to give a review of the film. Obviously, from 0 Fog Boys being a piece of shit to 10 Fog Boys being a masterclass film. Wrapping it up with the best kill of the film. Shane's going to do a eulogy. And that's pretty much what it is. No shenanigans, just very practical horror movie reviews.
Straightforward.
Straightforward. No deviating.
We
We,
stick to a
always stay
script.
on topic. We have a script. We follow it. And with that script,
I've got a new segment.
I like this. I like
Okay.
this.
It's
a lot.
called the Weekly Roast. Every week, we roast something that annoyed us throughout the past 7 days.
It doesn't have to do with a film or just about
No, just in general. Like something at work or like Matt with his hose.
see, I
If he's
can't.
having a problem with the hose, he should be able to come on here and talk about
I
it.
can't do my weekly roast.
Why?
It might be problematic.
Are you really worried about that?
Yeah.
Do you realize one time me and Brian did a certain salute?
Okay, you're right. So, the country of India, they
Oh, wow.
are very like annoying because I have to like train them for work because there's a branch of my office that's in India. And like they just can't pick up the work, and they think they could get shortcuts and just copy and paste shit, and it doesn't work like that. So I'm like really annoyed with the country
So
of
from
India.
what I just took from what you said is that you think
I told you it was going to be problematic.
Indians should stick to running 7-Elevens and gas stations?
No, did not say that.
That's what he said.
That's what you
That's
said.
not what I said.
Yep.
That's not what I said.
You, Shane P. Smith,
Don't.
think Indians are dumb.
No, did not say that. I just said they're on my last nerve.
No
right
joke. That was so bad. We might have to X the segment.
Now. Well, that's what I said. It was going to be problematic.
That was crazy.
If you want to do, we should do a weekly roast about something that bothered us so much about the movie. I mean, we do that anyway. But
Yeah.
like one critical thing, and I would say it's probably all of the Indian people that were in the fog.
No, all right. So the country of India as a whole is probably going a little extreme. You know, when you're mad at work and you just vent, but the branch, mad at them.
Yeah, be more specific.
Yeah.
Not the billions of.
Yeah. That was a
In
little
India.
extreme. I got a little extreme.
Yeah, that was
I'm a man of extremes. You know this.
crazy.
You know what else I'm a man of?
What you are, Shane?
The spooky pig.
Oh, what a transition. We did it.
You like that shit?
Okay, The Fog was released in 1980. A mysterious fog rolls into the coastal town of Antonio Bay, bringing the victims of a shipwreck of myth 100 years prior back for revenge. The film was directed by John Carpenter, stars Jamie Lee Curtis and Adrienne Barbeau, Janet Leigh, John Houseman, Tom Atkins, and Hal Holbrook. Mr. Holbrook from last week. I can't believe how many people were in this from Creepshow now that you're saying that. But this movie came out before Creepshow.
It did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Creepshow must have just saw this movie and they're like, these guys all work together like really well. Even though I don't know if Hal Holbrook and Adrienne Barbeau are ever on screen together.
In this film, no.
No, they're not, right?
I don't even think she's on screen with anybody like other than her son.
Yeah, that's true.
Like she's always in the lighthouse.
I'm going to go on record. I'm going to say she is a gem. Like, I love her.
Oh, I love her too.
Like, I was telling Mike, remember when we watched Campbell, Women of the Avocado Jungle of Death?
Yep.
Like, she's so funny and great in that movie.
I can't believe she's actually in that movie.
And Mike has no recollection of that movie.
remember it
He
at
does
all.
not remember
Bill
that.
Maher.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Like the fact that Bill Maher is even in that movie.
I know.
Like this man has a top talk show on HBO.
And he
then
was in the Avocado Cannibal Women Jungle of Death in 1980 something.
It's never referenced.
I know.
If I was a guest, I'd be like, "Hey, Bill, remember Cannibal Women of the Avocado Jungle of Death?"
Oh my God, it'd be the first thing I bring up.
I have a hard.
That's
time-
John Carpenter. John Carpenter
Wait,
alert.
That's him.
Yeah. Not him. That's Hal Holbrook.
Right, the other guy.
Yeah,
That's Father Malone.
they'll show him again. There he is.
Wow. You know what's crazy? I've never seen him or a picture of him ever,
Really?
and I've known who that man is for a very long time.
He's a legend. Like, I mean, he did like Ghosts of Mars,
He did.
which we're 100. Like, I think like if we bring back Bad Movie January, that's going in. Like,
Down.
lock it in.
Lock it in. He also tragically did the Escape New York sequel, Escape from L.A.
I give him a pass because the first Escape movie is so freaking good.
Escape from New York is epic.
It's such a good movie.
Escape from L.A., I'm pretty sure there's a scene where Kurt Russell's riding a waterfall.
Didn't he say? Isn't that the movie though? He said he had no, like, he did not want to direct. Like, they forced him to make a sequel or something like
In the
that.
studio? I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
because I remember him. There's a movie where he's like, yeah, the studio was just like, you have to do this, and he's like, fuck it, I'll just do it for the paycheck.
Everybody has their paycheck project.
100%. Like,
yeah, that's a shame because that was like not good.
oh yeah, well, I mean, just went through a Wes Craven when we did My Soul to Take.
Nothing was worse than that though. So
Yeah, it's true. Everyone has their dud.
yeah, that's true.
Hopefully, he made bank though.
All right, I'm ready to start talking fog here.
Yes.
Boys.
So the fog opens up, as we have talked about at this point 20 minutes ago, with an old salt dog
Yeah.
telling kids the tale of the fog.
And it makes me think, like, who am I taking, right? One salt dog versus 100 campers.
I'm taking the salt dog.
Yeah, he's been through some shit.
He's got oars. He's got hooks. You ain't stopping him. What are those kids got? Lunchables?
Imagine this.
Snackly?
Snack packs.
Yeah.
What's the new one with
Lunchly. I called it Snackly.
Snackly.
I meant Lunchly.
I need everyone's opinion on Beast, Mr. Beast. I think he's insufferable.
Really?
Yeah, I can't stand him.
So I like the work he does in terms of like helping people.
Sure.
But him himself, I don't think he's a funny person, and I don't enjoy watching his
I've never
videos.
watched like content with him, like his YouTube channel. All times I see of Mr. Beast is either he's on a podcast of someone I usually watch, or he's just giving away money to something random.
Yes.
Like, and I'm not talking about like, I don't know if he does. You're saying he does charity. I don't even.
He does a lot of charity
I'm saying
work.
like, here's my game show Beast Wars where I'm giving away $10 jillion.
No, he does a lot of things where he'll just take like 100 people and give them eyesight or something like that, and it's awesome.
Well, that's
And-
nice, but-
Yeah, and people criticize him because they're like, he just does it to make money for himself through his YouTube. And at the same time, I'm like, yeah, that's true, but he still gave 100 people like their eyesight back. So pros and cons. I'll take giving the eyesight back for him to make a couple $100 million.
Also, yeah, like just look at his thumbnails. Just scroll through them. Terrifying.
The thing is, those thumbnails are like what everyone does now because that's just the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Cool thumbnails.
Exactly, with his face like plastered in the front.
Yeah.
It's the thing. And I will also say his
Chocolate.
He's
got chocolate line?
Beast Burger
You've had it?
is extraordinarily mid.
Mid?
Oh,
dry?
it's-
Dry burger?
No, it's just too wet.
Where is it?
Oh, it's
Where can
wet.
you get the Beast Burger?
Not to dox us, but it's at a mall by us, the big one.
He does have chocolate. I wasn't kidding.
Oh yeah, the Beast Bars.
Feastables, I think
Yeah,
it's called.
Feastable.
He
Yeah,
does have a chocolate line.
Yeah,
Chocolate.
that I've never had. Have
And
you,
he,
Matt?
and he also has he also works with Prime now. Now they're like,
Why does everybody work with Prime?
Everybody's on. I think Tom Brady's on Prime.
probably.
I think Pat Mahomes is on that
I mean,
shit
fuck
too.
Brady, but yeah.
Whoa, Brady is the greatest human of all time.
He's a snake.
Probably. But I just love the way his hair used to flow in the wind when he quarterbacked. It's gorgeous.
I like when he's throwing Lombardi trophies out of boats.
A boat's incredible.
I just like his picture from the combine.
Oh, how fat he is?
He's doughy.
Yeah. You know what would hide that figure?
The fog.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to cut. We're going to get some backstory. We have Father Malone. He's an alcoholic, and he's an alcoholic because his entire lineage is all about stealing from the poor.
So they're like Hackensack,
Yes.
kicking out the poor.
Yes.
It's his entire like ancestry, and we can kind of cover the story because we are a spoiler podcast. But
Yeah, go through it.
His ancestry, you'll find out like his grandfather wrote this, like had this like journal, and his journal did document how they literally took money from like a ragtag group of fishermen, like going to a new place where they were going. We could kind of talk about the story of the fog that was mentioned in the very beginning scene.
Yeah, bring it up.
Yeah, so essentially he talks about like I think April 21st is the day of like their founding, or like
Yes.
when they were like founded, and they're coming upon their 100th anniversary of the
Yep.
town. So he tells the ghost story of what happened on April 21st, that there was like between like 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock, there was like this big meeting. But as a result of that meeting, there was like this boat that saw a like there was like this shroud of fog that went over them as they were trying to settle on the new land, and they saw through the fog this like fire, and it was like a giant fire through the fog that they were tracking towards. And as they were tracking towards it, they hit a shipwreck, and then I think it was like Captain Blake and like his crew like all died.
Yeah.
And that's like and then they say like on April 21st, but like in those hours of like 12 and 1, they'll come back and you'll see them. Beware of the fogs. You'll see the fog boys come through the
Fog
shroud.
boys.
So after the campfire story, it's going to transition over to, I believe there's Father Holbrook and no, sorry, Father Holbrook. Father Malone, played by Hal Holbrook. And you just find out he's talking to John Carpenter's character, and he's kind of like a drunk priest. Dude just drinks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if your lineage was just screwing people over,
I also feel like that's another trope.
drunk priests.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
is.
definitely a.
It's also because like John Carpenter's like, hey, can I get paid? He's like, you want to come in 6 instead of 4?
It's like, you want to work more?
It's funny. Other characters is Tom Atkins. We're gonna see driving his car, and he's gonna pick up hitchhiker Jamie Lee Curtis, and they're gonna hit it off right away.
It's very strange because she's like, I never hitchhiked before. And then she's like, oh, but I hitchhiked last week. He's like, I thought you never hitchhiked before. She's like, well, just last week.
Yeah. We looked it up. I know we talked about it at the beginning, but we'll bring it up now. She's 22 in this movie. He is 44. There is a 22-year age gap here.
Wow.
I feel like they didn't care about it. Like,
No, clearly not. To be fair, I think back then you picked up hitchhikers with the intent of sleeping with them, and you got picked up as a hitchhiker with the intent of sucking their dick.
So, like, okay, according to her, so she's going from, like, Pasadena, where she does mention throughout this film where she has all this money, but, like, doesn't know what she wants to do.
Right.
Never anything to do there and has no idea what she wants to do. He's like, I don't know what I want to do. Let's make out, though. No, but seriously, she needs to go to, like, Canada, but the reality is she just follows him wherever he goes.
Yes.
So she's a directionless, aimless, purposeless character.
Yes.
That really just comes in as the Fog storyline's coming in. Because the Fog storyline is happening as this is happening.
Yeah, that's the thing. And she's not bad in this movie, so I'm not taking anything. But her character doesn't do anything other than, like, she happens to be there for everything.
Yeah.
Like, a body falls on her or she gets attacked. But, like, it doesn't matter because her character doesn't progress the story.
No, she's like, maybe I'm unlucky. But, like, she is conveniently coming in when it's April 21st. It's the 100th anniversary that they're already, there's other characters there that are Mrs. Williams and her team that's planning for them to celebrate their 100-year anniversary as a town. And that's a whole separate storyline, but she always brings up this, like, I'm unlucky. And then as they're having this conversation, the glass shatters in his vehicle.
Yes. Well, okay. So that's a good thing to bring up because the fog starts to roll in at that point for the first time. And what we know about this fog is it hates electricity and it hates glass.
It also hates cars and dogs,
yes,
too, apparently.
Yes, because it shatters all glass. It stops all electricity. It hates clocks. All the clocks shatter.
It does.
And the fog just starts to roll in and all these things start to happen. And
car horns start going off. I feel like I'm watching Maximum Overdrive.
And another thing to mention is during all this, Adrienne Barbeau's character is a radio show host. She's just, this is WFAN, and you're listening to Adrienne Barbeau, and I'm playing all the hits. And now we got 4 bangers coming for you later today. But first, let's talk about our centennial anniversary. The fog is rolling in, and the party's gonna be lit.
Oh, okay. Literally, there is some fire action. Yep. KAB is the name of the radio station.
It's not WFAN.
She's constantly getting feeds from the weatherman, Dan.
Yes. He has the hots for her.
Dan wants that.
He doesn't even know what she is. He just hears her voice.
Yeah. It's like, what's the one where the person just hears the voice and he's like, I'm thinking of
Her.
No.
Oh.
Well, yeah, Her is a good example. I thought there was one where, I think I'm thinking of the video game Firewatch.
Oh, yeah.
Where he just talks to her over the radio the whole time, but he's like super into her. Yeah, it's Firewatch. It's the video game.
It's a great game.
But yeah, it's just one of those things where he has no idea what she looks like, but he's like, I'm so in. Just off of the voice. But to be fair, sexy radio voice.
Yeah, and she's like, apparently, like, so the storyline with her, she has a son.
Yes.
Who is a part of the campers in the beginning.
Yes.
But her storyline is that, like, her husband died. I don't really think they go into detail about how he died, which probably is not necessary. But she's alone, and she talks about now it was his station in the lighthouse that she's now operating the station. And she's kind of like, yeah, it's endless amounts of sea, but I'd rather be here than, let's just say, Chicago. Mm-hmm. She literally dropped Chicago in there. She's like, I could not care less about the Chicago sky and Angel Reese.
I mean, honestly, name like 3 good things that have come out of Chicago.
Deep dish pizza.
Michael Jordan.
Phil Jackson. Unless they're not Bulls related.
Yeah, that's the issue. Everything's Bulls related.
We're gonna go with wind.
They do have good wind.
Yeah, and they have good hot dogs.
Oh, the bean.
They actually have great hot dogs.
Right?
No.
I actually like a Chicago hot dog better than a Chicago pizza. And you were going to say the bean?
The bean, right?
I've seen the bean.
Did you like the bean?
Yeah, I flicked it.
You flicked the bean?
You flick the bean all the time.
Yeah, I flicked the bean.
You love flicking the bean, dude.
All right, let's talk Let's
fucking
talk
the bean
fog.
to Barbeau.
Brian, give me what is in the fog? Describe it to me.
Yeah,
What
so
do you see?
the fog rolls over and it's a fast fog.
Oh, it's so
and
quick.
it glows, right?
so
And
bright.
it does one thing that you don't expect fog to do. Run counter to the wind. So there's one ship that Dan, I think, tells Stevie Wayne about. Stevie
Yes.
Wayne's Adrienne Barbeau's character. And Adrienne Barbeau's like, she tells him about the seagrass. So she says, hey, to all you guys in the seagrass, she's like, I'm looking out for you. She's like, you got a wind coming up like to the west. So you got fog rolling into the west. And then Dan calls her back. He's like, why'd you lie to them? Because the wind was coming in and she gave him a direction, but the wind actually, the fog came in incorrectly because it goes counter to the wind. So she gave them the wrong information.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fog's not supposed to go counter to the wind. Makes
No.
no sense, scientifically
I
speaking.
think fog's unpredictable.
Oh, it's so unpredictable. Unless you're in Silent Hill.
But it rolls fast. It rolls right over those seagrass, boys.
Yes. And it goes over that boat, and then we see...
Boat or trawler?
What would you call it? You're a seaman.
He is.
In this film, they call it a trawler. Now, I'm going to ask my producer to pull up what the fuck a trawler is.
Yes.
Stand by.
Because I've heard the term boat before.
Oh,
But trawler is new territory for
I don't
me.
drop things.
Jesus.
Let me get trawler.
Type of powerboat typically designed for long-range cruising and extended live aboard living.
And why
You can live in a trawler?
you probably live in a trawler. It's 15 miles out of Spivey Point at this time. Spivey Point is the area where all the action happens. Apparently in this movie.
One other note: it says similar to smaller commercial fishing boats, and known for the ability to handle rough waters, which would make sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole crew above this trawler, right? It's Captain Williams is on this. And, I mean, we can kind of get right into it because the fog is going to roll right over them. And when I say roll right over them, it literally kills everybody on board. What happens is there's a guy that gets stabbed, and all you see is the fog, and you see, like, these silhouettes in the fog with these hooks.
Yes.
And I'm calling them the Fog Boys.
Fog boys.
And they
Fog
stab
boys.
one guy, and they hook, like, one guy in the eye.
Oh, my God. They do, like, the double stab to the eyes.
Oh, yeah. They have these like little fisherman hooks, you know?
I like the knocking they do with the hooks.
Well, they're polite. They knock, but they will absolutely kill you dead. Yeah, they literally kill two. And then on this same boat, I know later on in the film, they do, the thing is, the Captain Al Williams is the person that's actually going to take Tom Atkins' character.
Yes.
I forgot his name in the movie. If you could pull that up, Matt. Tom Atkins' character and Jamie Lee Curtis's character over to
The boat.
find the seagrass because that's his contact. That's like fisherman contact. And when they went to the dock, when he was trying to go there, he wasn't to be found. So he went to someone else to bring them over to find Al Williams in the seagrass.
You was looking for the names of the characters?
Just
Yeah.
the name of Tom
I
Atkins.
mean, he found it
characters.
weird. Tom Atkins, who's always an investigator, literally always.
Yeah, always.
Nick Castle.
Nick Castle, because the guy's very reliable. He drinks, but he'll never not communicate or be at the dock when he's
Yes.
supposed to. And he wasn't there when he was supposed to. And so that they're going to go out, both of them, which Jamie Lee Curtis is supposed to be going to Canada. She decides to hang out more with.
This is what confused me, is
Yeah.
why does she stick around to, like, go on this, like, investigation with Tom Atkins?
She's aimless. I mean, this also does occur right after they sleep together, which I'll explain in a minute. But they're going on a quest now to find his contact, who's always at the dock,
And his
in
crew, the crew,
seagrass,
right?
And the crew who is now missing.
Yeah.
This does follow when they were sleeping together. They literally show a scene after. I think this is after she gives the advice
Yes.
to the seagrass. Stevie Wayne. You have Elizabeth, who also shares the same name as the boat that drowned, which is another interesting
Elizabeth
parallel.
Dane.
Elizabeth Dane. I think her name's like Elizabeth Williams or something.
Yes.
Elizabeth Soley.
Elizabeth Soley. Yeah, sorry, Williams got mixed up. She shares the same name, which is interesting. But she sleeps with him. But the thing is, they hear a knocking on the door.
Mm-hmm.
And Atkins is going to go to the door. But before he opens the door, he notices that the clock just struck 1 p.m. And they do say that between 12 and 1 is the lore
Yeah.
of when they're on the hunt. So
Prowl.
at 1 o'clock, the glass shatters at 1 o'clock. I'm assuming that at 1 o'clock when they were driving, when
That's why the glass,
shattered. And then he goes to open the door and there's no one there. The fog boys, the guys, the people under the fog was not there.
All right. One thing I want to do before we move on, Matt.
Yep.
We can't move on from the segment without passion bumping a 22-year age gap romance. Hit it!
Yeah, it's passion.
Passion bump. Passion bump.
This is your kind of passion.
Passion bump.
Young chicks, right, Shane?
Yep.
This is like Timothy Chalamet banging Meryl Streep.
My God.
They did that in a movie?
No, but if they did, this is the kind of thing. You'd be into it.
If Timmy and Meryl did it?
Yeah.
Sure.
I knew it. See? It's crazy.
That might be a bigger age gap, to be honest.
It would be
It's
ginormous.
way bigger.
Meryl Streep's like 8,000 years old at this point.
Could you not disrespect her like that?
Is Meryl Streep not 8,000? She's a vampire.
But is she a good actress?
Incredible. Have you seen Doubt?
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen Julia and Julia. Mm-hmm. I've seen
Have you
Mamma
seen
Mia.
Glenn and Glenda?
I've seen Glenn and Glenda.
All right, let's talk.
I've seen Your Penis.
Why?
That's
Good
crazy.
Timmy Chalamet movie. Beautiful boy.
You know,
I thought you were going to say Dune.
Dune 2.
Both good movies.
I want to see
No.
Bones and All. Have you ever seen Bones and All?
No, I want to see that though.
From the director of the Suspiria movie, the remake.
Oh God, that was atrocious.
No.
Have you seen it?
I need to see it.
Oh, dude, it's 3 hours.
Who's the director of Bones and All? And what's the new movie he's coming out with? Because I think he's making the American Psycho remake.
Well, the thing is, I've never seen a director take a movie that's an hour and 35 minutes and make it 3 hours.
What if Dakota Johnson's in it?
She is. So is Chloe Grace Moretz and Tilda Swinton.
Luca Guadagnino.
Now, can you confirm if he's directing the new American Psycho starring Austin Butler?
Can you also confirm if he's friends with Luca Garza
Can you also confirm if he's friends with Luca Magnotta?
or Luca Doncic?
Or Luca Brasi.
Yeah, exactly. See, we're all on the same page now.
For real though, beautiful boy. Good film. You should watch
Correct.
it.
He's directing the new film, a new American Psycho.
You know that's going to be a hitter.
Oh, I actually love Austin Butler. I'm in like an Austin Butler mood. He's just the guy.
It's not considered a remake. It's considered a new film adaptation.
Interesting.
Okay.
We'll see how that
What
works.
does that mean? What's the difference?
It means that they're probably going with a different spin on the story.
I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
No, the
Because
movie's going to suck.
Hollywood sucks.
But I believe in Austin Butler.
He's such a good actor, dude.
See, the thing is, I only believe in Joe Hendry.
Got it.
I wish I had the class.
Have you ever seen the Elvis movie?
Elvis movie was pretty good.
So honestly, after watching that movie, I'm like, Austin Butler fucking crushes it. Tom Hanks was mid in that movie, and I really like the story could have been better, but Austin Butler was so good.
Austin Butler apparently was
nominated?
acting like Elvis
He didn't
for
win.
like
He
that
should've
whole
won.
time that he was on set.
I don't know who won the Oscar, but it definitely should have been him. He was phenomenal.
Were you going to say something, Mike, before I
I
get...
don't know. I wish I could tell you. Let's talk more about the fog, though.
Yeah, because while they're investigating the boat after the fog, they're in this room, and a dead body with no eyes is just going to fall right on Jamie Lee.
And then this guy's gonna get an autopsy.
Yes.
Yep, and they're gonna discover in the autopsy from the medical examiner
Yes.
that
The ME.
the body looks like it's been in the water for like 100 years.
Right. But it definitely hasn't because it's not even wet.
He's like, I found it below deck and it wasn't wet.
Yeah.
He's like, there's tremendous amounts of decay on this thing.
Yeah.
What do you call it when your fingers get all
Sticky?
no, when you're in water too long?
Pruny?
Waterlogged.
Pruny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're saying he was pruny.
Wouldn't your whole body just be prune?
So if you actually die and you're just in water, your body starts to absorb the water and you just like balloon up.
You
like
become a balloon?
You bloat. You get really like your whole body bloats and gets over fat.
Damn.
Yeah. A lot of
Water podcasts.
yeah. Now I was gonna say true crime, but not that because we're not a true crime podcast. We never have been.
Never, ever.
No.
We've established that.
Not in our wildest dreams would we claim that.
No, we would not. No. But yeah, so that's what happens with bodies. So this is why this is weird because the body's not wet.
And I know like what starts to happen in this film is like everyone's tuning into Stevie Wayne. I feel like she's the only. I know she's like the only late radio host,
Yes.
but everyone's listening in those late witching hours, as she calls it, from like 12 to 1, which is, of course, when this all is occurring. And as this film develops, Tom Atkins finds that information out. I know there's a separate storyline where they're planning communal activities. You have the Captain Williams' wife is the lady that's leading the communal
Yes.
activities, and her assistant, I guess, some really rude assistant.
Yeah, it's a pointless character again.
Yeah, but they do go because they have a restoration project for the cemetery.
Yes.
They go over to Hal Holbrook, and Hal Holbrook at this point has discovered a book, and the book
Is by his grandfather.
is by the former father of Malone, his grandfather, that does mention that basically the myth and what happened. And spoiler, what happened basically is they were at this like island, and it just sounds like they used the fire to lure in Captain Blake and his
Yeah.
crew as the fog rolled over to have them killed.
Yes.
Essentially, it's like to have them killed for their gold,
Yes, so they used the gold to start up their town.
to rebuild the church
Yes,
and
and
the
everything.
town and everything. So this town is really built on blood money,
100%.
which is why Stevie Wayne's young boy finds this golden doubloon. That golden doubloon turns into the Elizabeth Dane cut-off woodwork.
Yes.
And you're thinking, is this the Elizabeth Dane woodwork? Because it's just you just see Dane, or is this Dane as in Dane Cook?
Whatever happened to that guy?
He got fat and he wasn't as funny anymore once people realized his whole shtick, and like they're just like, this isn't funny anymore.
People are calling for a Dane Cook revival. How does that make you feel?
Because I don't know. Because like Dane Cook, he was just like
Oh my God.
in the pickles, and he's just some of this, and then he just that like power walk where he goes around stage.
Oh, the power
Yeah,
walk.
That's okay. So your like mannerisms of him were very good. What did you say he
So
said?
there was a stand-up skit. It was like when he first started blowing up. He was talking about like him going through the drive-through at Burger King, and the lady was just like, "And you want that pickles?" It's the one stand-up routine I remember from Dane Cook, and I'm like, man, this guy, if he wasn't so attractive, would not be like famous right now because he's not that funny. Dane Cook was the perfect mix of like physical comedy funny and hot, but his actual words were so unfunny, if
and then
that
you
makes
watch
sense.
Good Luck Chuck, and
To
you're
be fair,
like,
that was-
wow,
I
this
actually-
movie's a revolution.
I mean, I enjoyed Good Luck Chuck, but
you?
Jessica Alba's in it, so it kind of always helps.
Sure.
And then you watch Employee of the Month,
I hate that movie.
and you're like, Jessica Simpson's in it, so that helps.
I mean, it did, but no, I actually did not like Employee of
Was
the
it
Month.
because of Dax? Was it Dax Shepard?
Or you got something
forgot
against
Dax
Dax?
Shepard
You have a
was
problem
in
with Dax?
Shane, remember, he's not Indian, so you could like him.
Yeah, that's true.
Whoa, you don't have to bring that back up. I like Indian people.
Really not, dude.
And then you watch Mr. Brooks, and then he's in that too as a dramatic actor.
Yeah, with Kevin Costner, one of the a great movie. Own it, Shane Buster.
Nice, Shane Buster.
He dies in that movie, I think.
Yeah, at the very end, Kevin Costner kills him, I believe. Spoiler, in case we ever touch Mr. Brooks.
Yeah, we're a spoiler box. In any case, I'm gonna move along with the.
Yeah, we should do
as
that.
the fog rolls along.
That's what
so
you're
am
doing.
I. I'm gonna move along with the
Hey.
fog.
Okay.
Good.
So Dan is back on the phone with Stevie Wayne,
Yes.
right? And Dan is still trying to mac it. Stevie Wayne's like, nah, just give me the fucking weather.
Literally.
What direction is the fog rolling in? And he basically tells her that it's about to be over his house.
Yes.
And during this time, she's on the phone with him, and he's like, hold on, bitch. Let me get the door. Someone's knocking. And on the phone, the man literally gets hooked in the throat.
Yeah. And she begs him not to go outside, and he just does not listen to her.
She's getting suspicious now because all this stuff is because the seagrass has not been found, right? Like all this stuff has happened when the fog has rolled in.
Yes.
She's been on the air for that time.
And
so
this is when on the radio she starts begging to like someone to go and save her son, right? She's like, go to my house, save my son, please. Someone go get my son. There's something in the fog. Please make sure he's safe.
I had a theory about the son. He's not actually a small child. He's just a small person. And I haven't moved off that. I'm still on it.
I know you brought it up on the podcast. I thought that this was dead and buried. Like that movie we reviewed.
Nice.
Is it the grandma that's with the kid?
I don't know.
Or a babysitter?
Yeah.
Regardless, she's going to get fucking mauled because she goes out into the fog and one jumps on her and then they all just jump on her.
Yeah, I like that they rip you out of the door.
Yeah.
They always take you out of the door because, like, all the people on board that ship are missing. Like, they have no idea what happened to that lady's husband, Captain Williams. Like, he was unfound. Like, they found 3 of his crew members, but that was it. Everybody else was not
Gone.
there.
Yeah. So the kid then escapes. Everyone, like, this is when, like, everyone just kind of meets up at the church. And by everyone, I mean the kid, Atkins, and Jamie Lee. And then is the woman the mayor of the town? Or
No, she's not the mayor. They actually have the mayor speak. She's just the lady that runs the community affairs.
Yes.
Because they have that like little celebration in the town square of Antonio Bay and the founding of Antonio Bay. They omit the fact that it was built on blood money.
They don't want to bring that up. You
may
never
not-
bring that up.
They also don't really know because there was 6 people involved in the conspiracy from 12 o'clock to 1 p.m. as indicated in Father Malone, the grandfather's journal that the new Father Malone read. There was 6 people, including grandfather Father Malone, that conspired to have Blake and his crew killed for their gold.
Yes. So they're hiding out in the church. They're boarding up the windows, I believe. They want to just hold out. They think if they survive the night, they'll survive the fog. Stevie Nicks is being attacked at the lighthouse.
Well, she's also had to deal with the fact that she brought that plank of wood that had Dane on it.
Yes, and it burst into flames.
It was on top of like the tape deck, and the water fell in the tape deck, and it literally just erupted.
Yes, but
Very, very cool scene.
yes, it was. But from that moment, right, the fog boys, that's when they show up.
Because this all happened in sequence after Dan died. Because then the fog just like rolls over her home
Really
house
fast.
and then just starts to roll over them in the entire town.
Yes, so Stevie Wonder, she's got to run to the top of the lighthouse. And she has to hold out as the fog boys make their way to the roof.
And they're
with her.
mounting because the fog boys are quick. Just as quick as the fog is, rolling counter to the wind, they're coming in and they're coming in hot with the fog.
Yeah, they got their hooks and their cleavers.
And this is where Matt's going
fog.
to look up for us what causes fog.
Yeah, the scientific reason for fog, I think it has something to do with air density.
Yeah?
Humidity, probably.
I'm going to go with the fact that in this specific case, it was a part of the ghost story.
Yes.
One thing I like about what this movie does, though, because you even hear it from like when Tom Atkins is talking about to the coroner about like how one time his father was hanging around Spivey Point, saw gold, put it in his pocket, and then went to show him, and there was nothing there.
Yes, because the town is taking the gold. The ghosts are taking the gold back.
So it's all happening around Spivey Point. Was Adrienne Barbeau a baddie?
Yes.
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 Okay, that was established very quickly.
Yeah, that was
And
it. That
she
was an
looks
easy one.
real good right here.
Fog forms when moist air cools and its moisture condenses into tiny water droplets, which then become suspended in the air near the ground.
Now, can you give that to me in Latin?
No.
Okay.
Can you put that into Google Translate and give it to us in Indian?
So Shane can mock it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You can't just be saying that.
You know, another trope this movie might have started? Like these small towns with like fucking 50 people in them total always have a deep, dark backstory.
Always.
It's never just a normal
Yeah,
town.
no. If you're in a small town, there's blood. in the streets somewhere.
And
Blood in
they
the
always
ground.
go into the middle of the town, right? They always have to have a communion and a conversation in the middle of the town,
square.
as if they all had a serial killer named the Ripper.
Like, you think a town like Kennebunkport or something like that, real dark shit? Because we love that place.
You know
We
they
love
killed
it.
Santa Claus once.
Nah, Santa's still kicking.
No, they killed him. The real Santa, he's dead. Kennebunkport took care of that. So let's talk churches. Let's talk gold in the walls. Because there is gold in the walls of this church.
I almost did it. I almost did the gold on the ceiling again. I
Oh,
just brought it back
you
up.
were close,
I was
yeah.
so close.
This is gold melded into a cross
in the wall.
in the wall.
But
Everything's
what if it
in the
was-
wall. Secrets are built into the wall.
So my question is, though, if this gold was supposed to be used to build the town, but it's in the walls, did they ever spend the gold?
I think it was like I think Father Malone had the gold. I'm assuming everybody else kind of died.
Okay.
Or whatever. I don't really know for sure. They used some of it to build the town up.
and
for sure.
the others they
they-
melt it into a giant cross.
I think Malone did because I think he felt guilt after a
Oh,
while.
I don't blame him.
I think he felt tremendous amounts of guilt, and he never, in that, from what I heard, he was sorry for it,
Yeah.
and he was accountable for it, but he never said that. Like, he admitted himself being one of the conspirators.
That's why he's going to fight the Fog Boys with the gold. And by fight them, I mean he's just going to be like, you can have your gold back.
I think this scene is really cool, though.
It is.
How they just show up in the church.
Yes.
And they grab, I think it's Blake, right?
It is.
He grabs the golden cross, and it, like, lights up and illuminates.
Yes.
And it's like Father Malone is like, eyes are rolling back.
Yes.
I wonder if it's almost like, and this is like the part of this movie that like they don't share motivation for them. So like, obviously they're out for revenge, but is it because Father Malone does make this statement? He's like, "Oh, I can be the sixth," or he's like, "Am I going to be the sixth? Like, do you need six?" Meaning like there were 6 conspirators. So are they coming back to kill 6 people, or are they coming back for the gold?
I ultimately believe they are not the leprechaun. So I don't think they're out for the gold. I do think they want to kill 6 people as the 6 conspirators, especially because of how the movie truly ends.
I would agree because they put the names on the wood.
Exactly.
If it wasn't for that, I would think otherwise. But because they put specific names on the wood and then they eventually kill them, then that would make sense.
I mean, to be honest with you though, they look like they're ready to kill anybody. It doesn't
Yes.
look like they're looking for specific people.
Right.
They're literally rolling in. They would have killed Adrienne,
They try.
Stevie Wayne's boy. They would have killed anybody that they came into contact to. They probably, I'm wondering if they would have even stopped at 6. They probably would have kept going.
Yeah. So Adrienne Barbeau gets on top of the lighthouse. She's fighting them off, but she survives because he gives the gold. Right? It causes them all to evaporate. To
He gives them the
disappear.
cross and they disappear. Thing is, here's the scene that I want to like rectify.
Yeah,
because
let's go.
There's gonna be more. Do you think he knows? Like, do you think that Blake knows who these people are when they're rolling in, or do you think he just got a revelation that he's related to him based on that like touching of the cross?
Think of the touching of the cross.
I think so too. I actually don't even know if they knew everybody because everybody's new in
Yes.
that cross,
I think he realized once he touched the cross,
and that's why he comes back.
Then that yes, and he wants to kill the ancestor to who started this in the first place, the OG Father Malone's grandson.
Because it's interesting because Malone makes this. I don't know the exact quote, but he does say like he feels guilt, so he feels like he should be sacrificed.
Yes,
like because the whole town is suffering on his behalf from what his ancestor did, which is really not fair to him. But
No.
it's like totally unfair.
Oh, he has no part in what
but,
happened.
But he's basically like, I understand. Like, am I number 6?
It's that whole like paying for the sins of your father type thing.
Yeah, which he like so readily accepts because he also turns into straight like emo mode like halfway through the film. Once he discovers the journal, he has like this tremendous amount of like guilt and completely has his emo arc.
Yes.
But yeah, I was really not like, I really didn't know what the exact revenge staple was for them.
I truly think they just wanted to kill. Like, I don't think they were out for the gold. I think the gold was a bonus that was awarded to them, but I think ultimately they just wanted to get revenge and just kill people in the town.
Yeah, I just wonder if it was coincidental that they found him and he just happened to be the number 6. It's just like a bonus because of the scene that we're going to discuss right now.
which is the ending, where after everyone thinks everything's good and over and the curse has been lifted because the gold was returned, they come back and they get Father Malone.
Yeah. They actually slice his throat off screen.
Yes.
It's off screen. But
Everything
yeah,
is off screen in this movie. It's not bloody at all. I don't actually think there's blood in this movie.
There is actually no scenes that are really even shown
on camera.
Yeah, like you really don't see much. There's a lot of cutaway from the kills. I think there are a couple of stab scenes, but you more or less see like
Impact, no result.
Impact, the weapons like getting close up to the camera. A lot of cutaways, so they did not show a lot of gore. What is the rating for this?
I assume
User
R.
reviews is 6.8.
No. He means rating, like PG-13.
Oh.
I think it's R.
It is R.
Yeah. It was.
That's crazy. I guess it's because of the.
It's the 80s.
The
The
sex scene
80s were
time?
so weird with the rating system. Everything was just, if they didn't agree with it, was given an R. The Friday the 13th were all given R's. They were cut heavily. It was weird back in the 80s with that kind of stuff.
Friday the 13th is way more R than this is, though.
Yes, but they made Friday the 13th cut a lot out because it was too graphic, apparently. But by today's standards, they're barely graphic.
Yeah, that's true.
Definitely.
All right, well that's
The Fog.
the fog. Where are we on time here?
59:37.
Nice.
Oh, we nailed it. Okay, so that is The Fog. I'm gonna give my rating. I think I was torn.
You were torn, and I know what you were torn between.
You
were torn between a 6 and a 7.
Yes.
Because I was also torn between 6 and 7. When we watched this back on list 1 or 2,
Yeah.
was it 1 or 2? When
It
we had
was
those
list 2.
What did you give it?
7.
Okay.
You gave it higher?
I actually gave it a 7.
Yeah.
What are you giving it now?
I do think I'm gonna go 1 point lower.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna give it a 6. I don't know. I just think I didn't enjoy it as much as I remember, but I do still think it's a very good movie. I think the way Carpenter films the atmosphere and the way he films the actual Blake and his crew in the fog, I think is very well done. I think the story is very interesting, but I do think it's some of the characters are very underdeveloped. And some of the characters are actually very pointless, and I think that's kind of a pretty big detriment to the movie. Because Jamie Lee Curtis is considered a big character in this, and truthfully, it just doesn't have a place in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
If it's Tom Atkins actually just by himself doing all the investigative work, it doesn't change the movie at all.
It doesn't. According to the linear storyline, she's a purposeless character.
Yes, and for that, I think I have to knock the point down alone. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. 6 is, honestly, I've given a lot of good movies a 6, so it's still a good rating. It's above average if you do 5 as the average. So, I mean, it's close to a 7. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, so that was what I'm going to say. Is it like
It's close to a 7.
high
It's a high 6.
or is it like a DeAndre Hunter 6?
No. This is actually, I'm going to say this is as close to a 7 as you can get for a 6.
Got it.
But I don't want to give it a 7. So I'm going to keep it as a 6 and moving on to Mike.
Okay, I agree because it's not a 5 because this movie is not mid.
No.
It's not a 7 because when you get into 7, you're getting to really good territory.
Yeah.
So it's a 6. I say light to decent 6.
Mm-hmm.
I like some of the characters. Half of them are boring and pointless.
Yeah.
But there's good ones. I like the Fog Boys a lot. I thought the scenes with them were well done. The silhouettes, shot well, filmed well. The fog cast over the
Yeah,
ocean.
I know.
I talked about it. It's goofy as hell. It's fine. The score in this movie is badass though.
That's something I didn't touch on, and you're absolutely right.
It's really solid. John Carpenter is awesome. Yeah. Good story. Good ending. 6. Decent 6.
I am landing on a 7.
It's fair.
So it was tough for me, and I actually, if you look at my notes, I have a ripped page in my notebook because I had dropped it to a 6 and decided I am going to go back to 7.
The 7.
I really struggled, I had given it a 7 originally. I do like I'm a really big fan of mysteries, and I don't know how this movie's not coded as a mystery, but it feels like one.
It's more of a mystery than a traditional horror.
100%. Like I feel like it was more of a mystery with like number one. I love the creation of a ghost story. You hear history, and usually towns are founded on really bad shit. And I like how this movie is basically like we have this town that we're celebrating. Oh, but wait, it was because of a bunch of greedy people. And they created the town because they killed 6 people and stole their gold. Like, it's built on a bad foundation. And I like how they piece that together with, like, Tom Atkins' family and Stevie Wing kind of figuring that out. And obviously Holbrook's character, Father Malone, is the one that has the actual journal. The viewer gets different pieces of the story. And I like how this film, John Carpenter, keeps these people siloed. They're never really together. I know there's maybe some interaction at the end, but like Barbeau has no interaction with Atkins other than a phone call and never in person. And I think those siloed conversations kind of come together well. But yeah, I mean, my criticisms are there's very big. Like Jamie Curtis not having a purpose in this film is a major writing flaw. Like enough to drop it a whole point.
Yeah, that's kind of why I dropped it from 7 to 6.
Yeah, and that's fair. Like the only reason why I'm leaving it as a 7, honestly, is because there's no purpose to the story. I get they try to lace in some meaning with her coming in, but it doesn't come back around ever. And that's the problem. There is a tremendous writing flaw there, but I did think the mystery was good enough for me to say, like, I really like this movie to give it the lowest 7 I could possibly give on this podcast.
We're so close with the highest 6 possible to the lowest 7 possible.
Yeah, so that's it. That's my review.
Matt, I like hearing your numbers.
6.
Yo, you're fucking gay, dude.
Oh my God.
You're gonna let me go solo 7 over here?
That's crazy.
So we got
2, 6, 3. We got 6, 6, 6, 7.
666 and a 7.
So with that, necro talk, right? We're talking Necronomicon. I kind of like the one where the sailor gets the eye poked out.
So you got a sailor poke. I was gonna go with the guy that has the hots for
Dan the weatherman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, the kills are weak in this movie.
You're not
That's
wrong.
like one thing that's unfortunate for rated R. There's not a lot of kills that are valued. I'm gonna go with Matt's gonna have to flip something. I'm gonna go with Father Malone at the end. I feel like that was a purposeful kill. It wasn't a good one. It was off screen, but you do like that's like the big conversation at the end. Him dying is
No, you're right.
is the revenge.
No, we're gonna do this, Matt. What's yours?
I actually prefer Matt flipping something.
I can also give you the. If you don't remember them,
there was the flip.
A couple of 3 seagrass guys were killed. There was a man that was stabbed, the man that was hooked through the eye, the drowned man discovered on the boat, Dan hooked in the throat and then carried out of the door, the babysitter taken out of the door and mauled, and then Blake sliced in the throat were all the kills in this film.
Okay. I think I'll end up going with the slice that throat. I think it makes it go full circle.
Okay, so that's Dan, right? Dan the weatherman.
Well, no, he was a hook in the throat.
Oh, he was a
Are
hook
we
in the
going
throat.
Malone or Dan?
Yeah, it's Malone.
They were
or
both
Dan.
cut in the throat.
Both were cut in the throat.
The one with the cross, right?
Oh,
So that's Father Malone.
Yeah.
All right, we got a Father Malone.
I think it goes full circle.
Did I bully you into that answer?
No.
Okay, thank you. Unbiased answer from the LaGrostas.
Okay, so Father Malone, you got us bullied to put you in this Necronomicon. It's the craziest thing I've ever witnessed. I have never been bullied this hard for a necro pick until you. But you know what, Father Malone? You deserve it. You were a good guy. You wanted to make up for the sins of your father and your grandfather. You wanted to right the wrongs of the past. You wanted to give the gold back, but what you didn't realize, it's the 1980s now, the gold standard had dropped. Gold is not as important now as it was in 1890. No one cares about gold. It's all about Pokemon cards and the stock market. So you messed up, Father Malone. You messed up big time. And that's by the end of the movie. The gold didn't matter. All they wanted was to cut your throat. And for that, we're going to put you in our Necronomicon.
That was insane. Also, you're very Dane Cook in your own way.
Don't do that to me.
You're very handsy.
Don't do that to me.
Especially during the necro.
Especially with the young
Yeah,
ladies.
because I get animated during the
Especially
necro.
with those.
Okay.
I was gonna.
Yeah, you're so nasty. You're so nasty.
I can't say that.
Yeah, so that's it. We have one more week of Retro Reel, and it is a fucking banger.
It's a heater. It's a heater.
Are we things getting batty around?
Yeah, things are getting super bad. We are going to review Fright Night.
Ooh, Fright Night.
Not the Colin Farrell one.
Not the
Colin Farrell, David
film.
Tennant vehicle. No, this is the Evil Ed.
Want to know why? Because
The Evil Ed Chris Sarandon
Yeah.
flick.
it's retro. That's why.
It's so retro. So with that said, we are the final podcast signing off, and we will see you next week
For the
when
heater.
we discuss what our favorite hardcore gay porn is.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God,
That'll
the
make-
heater.
That'll make more sense soon. Don't worry, Shane hasn't lost it yet.
Tune in to the final podcast. New episodes each Monday. We are reviewing another retro film next week to complete Retro Reel, and then we'll go on and do something completely different. Probably no themes for a while, but super looking forward to it. Give us a subscribe on YouTube, and we'll see you guys next week. It is KAB, the sound of Antonio Bay.
Sexy.
KOB, KAB.